Welcome, everybody. Happy to be here today. I'm fortunate to be sat with Ross Kramer, the CEO and founder of Listrak, which is based in a beautiful part of Pennsylvania called Lititz, just outside of Lancaster. And I'm excited to be here. For those of you who don't know, Listrak is one of America's leading Marcom companies, servicing thousands of retailers all over the US, making sure that their communications with their customers are performing the best that they can possibly be. Welcome, Ross. How are you?
Hey, Jamie. I'm great.
So obviously Listrak is really well known in the Marcom sector. You're probably one of three big players out there and expanding rapidly into new areas. Tell us a little bit about, why you started this business and when you started this business.
It's nearly 24 years old. We were building e-commerce websites in the late 90s, and one of our customers asked us to build him an email blaster. And I begrudgingly did it. The guy had actually received a commercial email from Amazon. And he said, hey, if Amazon can email their customers, I want to email them too. And I said, I don't think that's a good idea. And he said, build me my email blaster. And today it's much more than that. It's email, it's SMS, it's push notifications, and we're also turning our clients' websites into a first-party communication channel as well. So it's really been amazing to see the transformation of the business and how we've kept up and continued to innovate on a number of different digital channels.
One of the things that I've also learned about your business is when you started this business a few years ago, there's a lot of people that you started the business with that are still with the business today. And, the tenure of employees at Listrak is quite notable in the fact that, you've got a great culture, you've got a team that sticks around and grows with you and grows with the company. Tell me a little bit about that culture and why is that important to you?
So we're a little different than the typical tech company. For example, we've never received any outside capital. Which is perhaps good and it's perhaps bad. It all depends which side of the coin that you want to look at. So ultimately, we've been customer funded. Like our customers have funded our growth, and their growth has continued to fund more growth. And the foundation of that has been just some absolutely fantastic team members that are super smart, super dedicated to what we're doing, and they love what we're doing. And I think they've stayed for the right reasons. They've stayed because they love what they do. Mm-hmm. They enjoy working with each other. They believe in the mission that we're on. And I think there's a sense of community as well. And it's one of the things we've really tried to ingrain in the culture here is a sense of being a great corporate partner in the communities where we work and live. So between the partnerships that we have in the communities where we work and live, that really transcends to the mission that we're on. It's been a big reason why I think people stay so long.
In terms of, your growth, Listrak's, grows and grows and it expands into new areas. But now we're really hitting, kind of a mass in the marketplace when it comes to Marcom. You guys, hold yourselves up well as one of the leaders in the space, but there's a lot of competition coming into the space. There's new startups that are entering into this space that are offering services that are totally socially led. They live on social, they're targeting social e-commerce companies. First of all, do you see this? And, what do you think about this? What do you think about the new level of competition that's coming in that's trying to take share of your business?
Our legacy and our heritage channel has been email.
Yeah.
It's what we were founded upon. The death of email has been grossly over-exaggerated almost every year. Almost every year there's a new blog post that comes out that predicts the death of email. Actually, recently, I think people have come around to be like, it's actually a pretty performant channel. Mm-hmm. Now, we've adopted other channels. We've adopted channels like SMS. We've adopted other channels like push. And what's interesting is, from the competitive landscape, it seems like people that maybe started in SMS want to move towards email.
Right.
People that may have started in push want to move towards email, and then those that started in email want to move to other channels. We really believe that all of your channels should be consolidated onto one platform. And I think that's really the value here at Listrak, is that you've got all of your owned channels on one platform, and you've got a single view of your customer on one platform. Add on top of that things like predictive analytics and other types of things that allow you to be more performant. But I think overall, if you look at the competitive landscape, competition is ultimately a good thing. It keeps all of us on our toes. It allows for, and I think that the industry's been great from an open innovation perspective and kind of comparing what other people are doing. So I think it's great to see a bunch of new upstarts that are happening, specifically around the Shopify ecosystem. Right. We talk a lot about the Shopify ecosystem. It's an important part of our go forward story here at Listrak, and that's a platform that's really spurred a lot of innovation. Right. The guys at Shopify have created a very rich environment that allows for innovation to be built on top of their platform. So I think we're going to continue to see more innovation happening on that platform, right, which is ultimately a good thing for clients, and it's a good thing for the industry overall.
That's great. Talking of Shopify, rumor is you've inked a very large global partnership deal with Shopify, which is great. Can you tell us a little bit about that and what it means to you personally, but what it's going to mean to your existing merchants and brands that you have, and new prospective clients that you're going to be approaching with this partnership?
I've really been impressed with what the guys at Shopify have done from an ecosystem perspective, from a developer experience perspective, how they've really put the customer, the e-commerce customer first, and what the experience of shopping online, the experience of mobile checkout, putting things like speed and security really high on their priority list. So, and then what that has created and what the mass has created is it's created not only the ability for the barrier to entry to get into e-commerce, made that very low, but as they move into enterprise, it's also really brought the total cost of ownership down in the enterprise space, and allowed even enterprise and upper mid-market clients where we participate, it's allowed those guys to be more agile. And what we're seeing is Shopify move in a very deliberate motion upstream into the upper enterprise and into the enterprise space, which is an area that we solidly occupy, where our customers live. So we're really excited about the partnership with Shopify, for Shopify to say that Listrak is the enterprise option. And so we're excited, and we're looking forward to that.
That's great. So you've really, as a business, you've really built your business on the back of retail e-commerce. As we can see behind us here, there's a lot of these brands that you represent, thousands and thousands of brands over the years that you're powering and developing. You now, as you just mentioned with Shopify, you're moving into new sectors, and also, you're expanding further into the enterprise sector. As we see over the last 3 to 4 years, more and more enterprise companies are consolidating their marketing efforts. They're outsourcing certain divisions of marketing to have more expertise brought into the company. Okay. As we, as a company, move forward into enterprise, what excites you about that? And what's the value proposition that you're bringing to an enterprise customer today?
So I think it really comes down to two things. It's technical expertise and human expertise brought together. Right. Enterprise clients really desire a partner to come alongside and be an extension of their team. Right. I think, small business might want the ability to just log in and get in and do things themselves, yeah, which is great. Enterprise comes at it from a completely different mindset, and they're really looking for hands-on support to help them take their business to the next level. When you also think about what's happening in the industry now with not only email, but SMS, MMS, push, whether it's desktop push or web push or it's app push, the explosion of channels has really created an increased complexity, and enterprise clients need a partner that helps them best understand when do I send an email, when do I send a push notification, who is most predicted to respond to an MMS message versus an SMS message, and each of these channels have a different cost perspective as well, and so having a partner to come alongside, be an extension of their team, to help them implement sophisticated cross-channel programs that meet their customers where they are is really what enterprise and upper mid-market clients are desiring today.
So it's the service.
Absolutely.
So a lot of service expertise and strategy, which is kind of the key to the success of the growth
together with a very capable platform. The Listrak platform is an extremely capable platform with a lot of advanced features that the enterprise really desires, and that's why we've been successful in that particular part of the market.
So just going back to that, you just mentioned predictive and predictive analytics, so which leads me to ask the question about AI. You guys started with AI a few years ago. It wasn't new to you this year, but you adopted it, you're using it, you didn't run around shouting about it, promoting it, but it's a part of what you're doing now moving forward. So my question to you is, what is AI doing for you today? And what do you think AI is going to do and develop for customers and brands moving forward in the next 3 to 5 years?
So I'll first start by saying no way to predict where AI is going in 3 to 5 years. I think I can look out maybe 90 days or 180 days. The things that we've historically used that are now showing tangible results across channels are things like modeling customer behavior across channels. That's a massive opportunity for Listrak clients to harness technology that exists today to better understand which channel is a consumer most likely to respond in, what's the best offer to put in front of this particular cross-channel customer. So those things exist today. We talk a little bit here at Listrak about what we call AI squared, which is artificial intelligence meets actual intelligence, which so much of what I think marketers need to do is to be able to cut through the hype and really to be able to test. For me particular, and one of the greatest things that I get out of my job is really to be hands-on with client programs to see what's working. And I personally ran tests beside customers where we tested old standard direct response copywriting versus ChatGPT written copy. And I will tell you, Jamie, time and time again, when we A/B tested it, the old standard copy, the stuff from books from the 70s that the guys from the Sears catalog wrote, using standard direct response copy, it worked better than ChatGPT generative AI. Now, what I'll say, and one of the interesting things that we're doing is we're using our A/B split testing, 8 years of A/B split testing results. So we're using that as training data to feed into generative AI to help our clients write better copy. So, and I think that's the one challenge with AI is, yes, it can generatively come up with something, but how do you know that it's better than your A version or the version that you used yesterday? So testing is really important. So super important to stay true to what has worked for centuries, which is testing, and then to be able to use training sets of actual results. So that's kind of the actual intelligence together with things like generative to make sure that you're moving your campaigns forward and they're being as performant as possible. I think that the last thing that we're most excited about is prescriptive analytics. For so long in this industry, and this is a hallmark here at Listrak is, and I said it earlier, service is so important. The ability to have a fantastic account manager that may have sat in your seat as a VP of marketing or a VP of e-commerce. Many of our Listrak account managers and account directors have sat client side and have sat in the seat, and they understand what it takes to exceed at our clients' jobs. So the challenge is, you've got to schedule a call.
Yeah.
You got to get on a call. It's time consuming. What we're working on now is to be able to cauterize and to be able to codify all of the actual intelligence here at Listrak, so that when you log into your Listrak account from a prescriptive analytics perspective, you've got a number of insights that are being bubbled up, and that the system will automatically give you the ability to take action on those types of things. So I think those are the areas in AI that we're most excited about. We're not, we're looking forward to partnering with generative AI platforms like ChatGPT. Maybe on the content and the copy side, we're looking to partner with generative companies that are they're just going to do it better than us on the generative side, like Adobe. So we would partner and use APIs to be able to tap into generative, but things like prescriptive analytics on cross-channel campaigns and customer understanding, those types of things we'll harness and we'll own here at Listrak.
On that note, as the market is moving forward, at a rapid pace, and it's expanding, there's now lots of new laws and regulations and compliance issues around communicating with customers, okay? Sending them an email, sending them an SMS. Are they subscribed? Are they unsubscribed? Today it's becoming a much larger issue, specifically in an enterprise or the public sector companies, where, for those guys to send an email to somebody who opted out is a big deal, okay? And it's becoming more prevalent, and the government are playing a larger role in this. How are you staying ahead of this? How are you informing customers of best practices? And do you find that the changes that are happening are actually having an effect on the business, or do you think it's having a positive effect on the business?
Ultimately, I think where the industry is moving from a consumer privacy perspective is a positive is a positive thing. The key for marketers, and there's a lot of pressures, right? There's pressures to drive revenue. There's pressures to represent the brand in a way that's moving your brand forward. And then, of course, as you spoke, there's pressures around regulatory compliance. And whether it's at the national level, whether it's at the country level, or it's at the state level, say here inside of the United States or in different countries, it's important to have a partner that's keeping pace with these regulatory compliance issues, and Listrak is certainly doing that. Probably the hottest flashpoint area is in mobile messaging right now. So GDPR, California privacy, things like that were very prevalent a number of years ago. Now the biggest thing that you need to keep that you really need to keep tabs on is around mobile messaging, specifically in the SMS and the MMS area. Whether that's things like quiet hours and representing quiet hours in the right way, whether it's opt-ins or opt-outs or how you're treating data, right to be forgotten, things like this. It's really important to have a partner that has wrapped their arms around this from both a technical perspective and just a support area, so you're getting the support and you're getting the understanding and the knowledge to keep you safe and keep your brand out of trouble.
And then just the final question that I have for you, with Listrak, being highly successful in the space, and you're constantly expanding, and there's always new markets and new verticals and new sectors that this company is moving into. At what point do you see Listrak becoming, firstly, globalized as a global company, and then secondly, how are you going to maintain this wonderful, I think you called it AI squared, alongside what you're doing as a business? Because it seems to be the kind of secret source to the success that you have with your customers. But how are you looking at that long term as you expand?
We've existed and coexisted beside these giants, right? So Listrak and our peers have existed beside giants like Meta and giants like Google, emerging giants like TikTok, right? So we've stayed right beside them. When you log into Google Analytics and you look at revenue attribution, we're right up there.
Yeah.
You know, in some cases, you know, together with our clients, we'll log into their analytics, and we're driving more revenue than Google or Meta, which is amazing at a much lower cost, and that's really allowed our staying power.
Yeah.
And I think for anybody like me, as long as you're keeping pace with the technology, you're adopting SMS, you're adopting push, you're bringing those channels together in a very cohesive way, you've got an opportunity to continue to participate. In some countries, you've got channels like WhatsApp that are even more prevalent than email or SMS.
Yeah.
So those areas of communication platforms give us an opportunity to step into from really from a global perspective. So excited about that, because the footprint right now is mostly North America.
Correct.
Growing into international in a pretty rapid way, which is exciting, and probably going to ride on some of these advanced communication platforms to be able to get there. And then I think from the AI squared perspective, obviously when you move into different areas, and there's a domain expertise perhaps in European countries where when you're operating in Spain, you need boots on the ground in Spain. When you're operating in the Nordics, you need boots on the ground in Nordic. So I think that's where the actual intelligence is going to come together with machine learning and AI, and that's how we'll navigate the uncertain future in those ways.
Well, that's great. Well, thank you very much, Russ, for joining me today. I think this was really eye-opening and exciting, and we look forward to seeing what the future holds for Listrak.
Great to be with you.